This is the Coach 'em Up podcast, leadership lessons learned from the field.
Each episode, we take one truth our coach here has gleaned from his experience both on the football field and beyond, and we explore its application to our daily lives.
Hello, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 10 of the Coach 'em Up podcast. I'm Greg Williamson.
Woo, and I'm Kelly Ueli.
We're just, what are we doing, Kelly? We're just making it happen here.
We're like a train we cannot be stopped.
That's right. We just keep, it's like that, remember the Ever Ready? Was that what Ever Ready?
Energizer Bunny.
Energizer
We
Bunny.
just keep going.
Yeah, we just keep going and going and going. That being said, though, I'm real excited about today's, especially because it's one of these coaching points that I want to share that I think all of the points, obviously, I learn on the field, but they're leadership points for life. But this one especially has a lot of practical life application. I want to talk about destiny is in the details.
Ooh, okay. I'm already intrigued. Destiny in the details. Can't wait to hear the context of this, where you've applied it coaching wise, and then where we can apply it in our lives as well. So looking forward.
Yeah, if I was really hip, I would say destiny's in the deets.
Oh.
But I'm not hip. So details, we're going to spell it all the way out
We'll
there.
spell it out for everyone.
So I've got a couple of good stories and some practical illustrations, and we'll talk about how to apply it just so we can grow in our leadership. Every one of us can become better leaders.
Oh, cannot wait. And we think you are going to love what we're doing here. And if you do, we invite you, listeners or viewers, you may be watching us, share us.
Yeah.
Share the podcast with your family, with your friends. They don't have to be football people.
No, not at all.
They just need to be people.
That's right. Just the people. And I know some families actually gather around, listen to it together, and then discuss it like over dinner that night.
Hey, what a great idea.
Yeah, it's Williamson's.
Oh.
No, it's not.
It's you and your family.
Not really. But a family that I know said that they do that
Aw.
on a regular basis. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That is awesome. Well, I'm excited to get into the conversation of the day. Destiny is in the details.
Yes.
Talk to us, Coach.
Okay, so when it comes to football, there is, I think, probably just working through the time that we've worked together, Kelly, on this podcast, there are layers and layers of difficulty and technical issues that you can, it's almost like going down a rabbit hole. It's inexhaustible. There's so many little details. And that's one of the things that we would tell our team is destiny is in the details. When you get a little sloppy on some of the intricacies, we would tell them, listen, destiny's in the details. Give you a couple examples. First of all, like on defense, a good linebacker, he will look at the offensive line and he can tell if they're cheating. And by cheating, sometimes they'll have more weight back on their heels.
What?
That means they're going to pull and it's a running play. Or they'll have more weight in their three-point stance. They'll have more weight on their knuckles. You can actually see the hand turning a little bit color. So they're going to be firing out. That's going to be a running play, or on the heels, it's going to be a passing play. Quarterback on offense, quarterback position. I always coach our kids on heavy foot, light foot. And so that's, where the play is going. You want to put more weight on your foot that's the opposite so you can push off. A good defensive player can actually pick up on some of those things, or a little something that QB1 Williamson used to do. There's a play in football that's often called a draw play. It looks like a pass play when it starts, and then the quarterback hands it off. So when I break the huddle, I would always start licking my fingers. And these linebackers and defensive players are like, oh, it's a pass. Williamson's licking his fingers. And then I hand off, and it just gets a little extra, maybe one more yard, maybe half a yard. But you know what, Kelly? Destiny is in the details.
Who would have thought that these big guys on the field are watching for how the hands are and where the weight, pretty detailed stuff. That surprises
yes,
me.
very, very much so. And in film, sometimes you can actually break this down, and you can notice these things. For instance, an example from the Super Bowl in 2015, Malcolm Butler had an interception for the Seahawks when the Seahawks were poised to score and potentially win the game against the Patriots. And he said that they had gone over film so much, they knew when they came out in that formation that the Seahawks quarterback, Russell Wilson at the time, they knew where he was going to throw the ball.
Oh, wow.
They had seen it, and it was like, it's going to this guy. And so he just cut it off. They were they were inside the 5-yard line, about to win the Super Bowl. And he picks it off, and because of that decisive interception, won the victory for the New England Patriots. And the details of that interception, his anticipation, his reaction, his execution, all those little details play a crucial role really in determining the destiny of that Super Bowl.
I would say so.
So destiny is in the details. And sorry about that, Coach Drew, who's a Seahawk fan.
Shaking his head.
Yeah, I'm sure he probably cried a little bit when that happened. But that's just one example in football. Because of the film work and all, they saw the details. They knew, okay, this formation, this guy goes in motion. This is who they're throwing it to right here.
I like this expression too, because we often hear the devil is in the details, meaning
yeah, that's true. That's one.
yeah, but it's got like a negative connotation.
Right.
Like there's so much that how can you ever find the meaning in all the devil's in the details? Like
right.
It's like a pessimistic view of being detail oriented or not paying enough attention to everything that's going on in the equation. But
right.
the destiny in the details makes me think, gosh, if I buckle up and zero in on the details, like good things are in store.
Exactly. Exactly. So important. It reminds me in the Bible, in the book of the Old Testament, Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 15, kind of the same idea. And Song of Solomon is really about a relationship. It's about a marriage relationship. It's about really an allegory in that sense of, it was actually two people specifically, but really an allegory of Jesus Christ and the church as well. But it says, catch all the foxes, those little foxes, before they ruin the vine of love, for the grapevines are blossoming. And you probably heard this, the little foxes that spoil the vine.
Yep.
And what that means is, I think the same idea, destiny's in the details. Little foxes spoil the vine. Little things are easily overlooked, but they can have huge, huge impacts when it comes to relationships, especially over time. Most relationships, whether it's marriage or friendship, even family, when there's a disruption, when there's a broken relationship, it's not because, if I could use this analogy, it's not because the wheel comes off, the tire comes off on the highway.
Yeah.
It's the slow leak.
Oh, yeah. All the little things.
Right. It's just the slow that doesn't get the attention, that isn't really observable. And I think that's what the Bible's talking about there. And so one way that, the little foxes can spoil the vine is through cumulative impact of neglecting seemingly minor issues in relationships. That's that slow leak. And in fact, I just shared this recently in our church. I heard Billy Joel. I've always been a fan of his since literally preteen years. He just wrote his first song in like 10 years, and he's 74 years old. And it's called "Turn the Lights Back On," and it's from a vantage point of a 74-year-old man. And I heard an interview that he had. They're asking, "Who is this about? What is this about?" And he said, "It's about a relationship and some other things like that." But the whole point is of that. He says it's about regrets.
Oh.
When you realize things you should have seen, things you could have observed, things you could have done something about, but
instead
they
of
just
slowly
escaped
letting
you.
the air out.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it was that slow leak. And I just thought it is so honest. It's just so honest, so genuine. I mean, I got really emotional when I heard it the first time, because I deal with a lot of relationship stuff and trying to help people, and it kind of put me in tune with where a lot of folks find themselves. But destiny is in the details.
Yeah, you really could take this advice both ways. It's the little things that can cause a demise or a loss, but it's the little things that can cause an improvement in a relationship or a win.
Yeah, absolutely.
So paying attention to the details helps us to win. And I think of destiny as, like I said earlier, like a positive connotation.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I like the spin on this of paying attention to the little foxes, watching the day in, day out activity, watching and observing the other person or the other team, and taking that to improve and respond accordingly to drive into your destiny.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, one of the things I'd shared recently about, like with that song, the message that I talked about, what was just like in a marriage relationship, trying to just eliminate the word my and change it to ours. So instead of it's my car, it's our car, my home, it's our home. And so yesterday I was driving around and I told Susie, I said, I really want to get my car washed. And she's like, whose car?
Oh.
And I was like, oh, right. Our car. I want to get our car washed. It's really dirty. I want to get it washed. And she's like, I do too. Let's get the other car washed too. So I got home first. She got home after that. Both cars ended up being washed. And then I texted her. I went downstairs and I looked at them in the garage. I was getting something. I was like, boy, our cars look so nice, But just a little thing like that, where mine is like possessive, it's not us together. Ours is we're sharing this. It's a little thing, but another coaching point that we often like to say is the little things are really big things. Yeah. And so you can make a real positive change just by making some little tiny steps, So it's real practical. The destiny is in the details.
Great observation, great applications, good conversation, Coach.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And, next time we're together,
let's do a sneak peek.
Yeah, and that little sneak peek for you. I'd like to talk about the coaching point. You can't put in what God left out.
Okay. You can't put in what God left out.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't put in, we're not talking about gasoline either.
No.
You can't put in what God left out, and that's going to be next time. So I'll have a little bit to share about that. But for now, just, you know what, Kelly, I'm thinking before we close out, let me just leave our listeners with a question.
Ooh, you have a question?
A question.
Let's
How
do
about
this.
that?
Okay.
How about that? So here's the question. And that is, what is one little thing that you can do today that's going to help you head in the direction that you want to go, your destiny? Just one little thing that maybe you don't do, maybe a little bit more effort. What is one little thing you can do that's going to be in the direction of the destiny that you want?
What's yours?
I'm asking the questions. Yeah. What's yours, Coach Kelly?
I think the next time my daughter says mommy, that I'm going to give her 100% of my attention. It's not going to be over a thing that I'm washing. It's not going to be over laundry that I'm throwing in. It's not going to be over my phone. It's not going to be turning my head from the computer. I think I'm going to give her my full out 100% attention. Wow.
That's great.
I don't know why that came to me just now.
We would call that listening with your eyes.
Yeah.
It's a challenge for me too.
Yeah.
But
we think we can multitask, but
right. Multitask means mediocre effort. That's the way I'm a focused person. I'm a real focused person, not multitask. Well, I'm proud of you. That's really great. Yeah. And you ask yourself that question as well, and work on that until our next podcast.
I like that.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Coach.
And I won't tell your daughter you said that either.
No, we can hold me accountable.
All right, little
Yeah.
accountability
Yeah.
there. All right. So let's clap
Let's
it
clap
on
it out.
out like our tradition is. Okay, I'll call
All right.
it like a play. So Destiny is in the details. Destiny is in the details. Ready?